Hey folks, trying to continue my coverage of Acacia species, and I'm in a very hot sort of autumn afternoon here, and the temperature's gone back up to 30 degrees. This is Western Sydney, far Western Sydney. This is a beautiful Castlereagh Nature Reserve, although I'm probably in a bit of a historically disturbed area at the present time here. We do have some threatened occurrences of Bynoe newtons over here. And we've got some monitoring plots set up for Bynoe newtons. I'm here on a lateritic shrubland, sort of similar to that one I was in Lucas Heights the other day on another video. And it's probably had some historic laterite extraction, I would imagine. We've got things like Eucalyptus paramentensis and Gopher bakeri. There's a lot of Kunzia ambigua regenerating in this patch with Acacia bynoeana littoralis. Yeah, there's the odd scribbly gum around as well. But while I was doing the monitoring plot the other day, I noticed this guy, which has taken me a while to observe in the flesh. This is Acacia bynoeana. It's an endangered wattle, and there was a note already here in the historic data that Acacia bynoeana had been observed in the plot. So I just kept, it was in the back of my head and I kept my eye out for it. And it was probably here, you know, a year or two ago when I first started monitoring here, and I probably just walked over it. I've been waiting years to sort of see this one. I've worked on plenty of sites where it's been recorded and I've just never seen it. I'm going to have to lie down. I don't know if I can get any decent shots and get the sun out of the shots as well. It's really hot western sun now, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Acacia bynoeana, it's named after, a botanist called Bynoe. It's a threatened species in New South Wales. It's got a sort of greater Sydney Basin range. It goes up as far as Newcastle. It gets into the Hunter Valley around Curry and Broke. I think there's some records there, maybe near Singleton. Right up through the Blue Mountains, I think as far as Blackheath or even Lithgow. I think it might get to Lithgow. And it punches down through the sort of north of the Southern Highlands. It goes down through Hilltop and Bargo and I think Berrima as well. There's records. I was working around there the other day. I hope I didn't miss it. And there's records at Bynoe as far as there, and then there's records all through the Sydney area too. I think that's pretty much most of the range, and I've got senior ecologists in New South Wales telling me there's about 3 forms recognised, or possibly 3 forms. They reckon the form that occurs out here in Castlereagh Nature Reserve and this wider area is sort of a more robust and taller form. A bit taller, but hopefully you can just get a good look at what it's like. It's got flowers in globular heads, which are produced singly in the leaf axils. So it's another one of these many wattles with phyllodes and singular globular heads in the leaf axils. And there's a lot of wattles that do that, like Ulyssofolia, and Lanigera and those ones. This one reminds me of Lanigera a bit, but Lanigera's got much wider leaves. But this has got the general sort of feel and sort of almost sort of leaf appearance in the venation like Lanigera. I think the phyllodes are described as being anywhere from 1 to 8 centimetres long, and this is what people are picking up on, is that, that just the length of the phyllodes and the size of the plant. The phyllodes can go from 1 to 8 centimetres. Here they're about probably 4 or so, maybe 3 to 4, possibly getting from 4 to 5, but they've got a rough texture. They're very rough, and they're meant to have 3 veins running up the A bit of zooming in there. think it's meant to have 3 longitudinal veins, but that's going to be really hard to see in this light. I'm just getting blinded by this western sun. It's just very tricky. But yeah, look for 3 veins in the phyllodes. This plant is only about 50 centimetres or so tall. It's not even that tall really, maybe about 30 centimetres. And there's just a few of them here coming up in the laterite. They're meant to have 10 to 25 flowers in each globular head. Here you can see them being produced singularly in the axils. There's not too many plants here, so I really don't want to damage any. It's been recorded here, so we're pretty self-assured that's what it is. It has got a lot of developing flowers. When I run my hands up the stem, it's very sort of, I don't know if it's hispid or scabbard. Probably scabbard's the word for it. It's sort of got a sandpapery feel as I run my hands up the stem there. So yeah, 3 forms have been recognised, I think, over that range. I think there's the Hawkesbury Sandstone form and the Castlereagh form, and I think there might be a Hunter Valley form as well. So people are just talking about taller, more robust plants, shorter, smaller leafed plants. So just look out for the variation in it. It can come up after fire in a big way, and I think they disappear after fire possibly just as quickly. Although I know for a fact this plant's been here for at least about 3 months, but that's probably not saying much. I think there was some more on the edge here that I saw last year. Yeah, here it is. There's just one isolated one here. This is growing in the most, sort of this really Mars, sort of lateritic landscape. Hot western sun. Just been belting on it all summer. You can see the surrounding ground layer. Just a real lateritic hardpan. It's got a flowering head on it though. Very rough. Some of the leaves appear secund, as they all point up one direction of the stem. We'll be seeing a fair few grevilleas doing that. But there's probably not too much more to say about it. The fruit characteristics I'm not sure about. I don't know if it produces fruit on a reliable basis or not. We'll have to look up the characteristics of the fruit, but I'm assuming that it's a pod maybe 1 centimetre or 2 long is what I'm assuming. I really don't know if shade works better for this or not. I mean, I can hardly see the phone. There we go. We all love how we're getting to the end of March and we're still getting 30 plus degrees in Western Sydney. It's great, isn't it? So that's it. I'm really happy to see it. I'll just get another sun shot as well. I've been just waiting like about, I would say 13 years to see this in its natural habitat and see some actual plants. Easy when it's in a bare lateritic outcrop like this. The phyllodes there, they're meant to be up to 3 mil wide, so I should have added that in. 3 mil wide for the phyllodes and up to 8 centimetres long. Yeah, the longest one I can see here would be 4 to 5 overall. Looks like it's got an ant's nest completely surrounding it. So when it's got all those multi-stems going into an ant's nest. Now there's a pod. There is a pod about 2 centimetres long. Don't know if you can see that. I thought making a video in the rain was hard. There's a pod. It looks like it might have 2 seeds. But that pod's about, 2 centimetres long. They're nice. So it's producing it's producing pods at least. Hopefully it's producing seeds as well. Alrighty, that's your Acacia bynoeana. Phyllodenous, singular globular heads in the axils. It's also described, yeah, the tips of the phyllodes are pungent. They're very spiky. I can even see a mucro. There's a brown and sort of yellow, a brown mucro subtended by yellow colour in there on the tips of the phyllodes. So it's very, it's not overly prickly, it's sort of softly prickly. So that's probably another good feature as well. I don't know how many mother plants would be around. I can only see about 5 all up. That's another one there. So I doubt they're here in very large numbers, but I might just have a look around before I go. There's another one. So yeah, just such a dainty little thing. All right, that's Acacia bynoeana. I hope you, if you haven't seen it, this one's of some use to you. It's a first time I've seen it and paid a lot of attention to it. I'll just finish on that one, which has a lot of globular heads and a lot more coming on. This is growing in a lot of lichen, sort of moss lichen cover. Yeah, beautiful. Alrighty.